Hello and welcome to BYJU'S Exam Prep IAS. Welcome to the daily quiz discussion for the 26th of June 2022. Beginning with the first question of the day, which reads, which of the following statements is or are correct with respect to salt production in India? The three question statements are as follows. India is the world's largest producer of salt. Among the states, Rajasthan accounts for the largest salt production in India. Salt produced from mining accounts for around 30% of the total salt production in India. Please have a look at the options. Now, what is the context? This article from today's The Hindu notes the challenges being faced by the salt sector in India. Among the major challenges being faced by the salt sector, the low price for the salt and the lack of a minimum support price or the MSP for salt are the major ones. Along with this, the workers who mainly comprise of migrant workers do not receive fixed wages and also lack adequate social security measures. Coming back to the question, consider the first statement. Note, India is not the world's largest producer of salt. It is the third largest producer. Please find out who is the largest producer of salt in the world, and if you know the answer, please do type in the answer in the comment section below. Also, it is not Rajasthan which is the largest salt producing state in India, but it is Gujarat. Gujarat accounts for almost 80% of India's total salt production. Now, consider the third statement. The salt produced from mining accounts for a very minute percentage of total salt production in India. It stands at around 0.5%. And the remaining 99.5% of salt produced comes from seawater or subsurface water. So, statement 3 is also wrong. This explains why Gujarat, with its long coastline, accounts for a substantial share of salt production in India. Since the question asks for the correct statement, the answer to this question would be option D, none of the above. Also note, salt is a central subject listed in the Union List of the 7th schedule of the Constitution. Moving on to the second question of the day. It reads, which of the following statements is or are correct? The first statement reads, the levy and collection of GST compensation cess has been extended till March 2026. The second statement reads, the revenue collected from this cess will be used to compensate the states for any shortfall in their revenue collections under the GST system until March 2026. Please have a look at the options below. Now, what is the context? This article from today's The Hindu notes the union government having extended the time for levy of GST compensation cess till March 2026. This is based on the Goods and Services Tax Period of Levy and Collection of Cess Rules 2022. Please note, while the levy of the GST compensation cess will continue till 2026, the regime of compensation payable to states is due to end. Please note, as part of the implementation of the GST system in 2017, the states were assured of compensation for the loss of any revenue arising on account of implementation of GST for a period of 5 years, that is till 2022. The states were ensured a protected revenue which was projected at 14% compounded growth rate. However, during the pandemic years, owing to a shortfall in the collection of the compensation cess, the union government was forced to borrow to compensate for the states. So, the GST compensation cess, which would be collected henceforth, will not be used to compensate the states, but it will be used to repay the loans taken to compensate the states. Coming back to the question, from our discussion it becomes clear that the statement 1 is correct but statement 2 is wrong. Since the question asks for the correct statement, the answer to this question would be option A, 1 only. Moving on to the third question. The question reads, consider the following statements about solid state batteries and liquid electrolyte batteries. The solid state batteries are safer than batteries using liquid electrolytes. A solid state battery has higher energy density than a lithium ion battery that uses liquid electrolyte solution. The third statement reads, the solid state batteries can charge faster than liquid electrolyte batteries. Please have a look at the options. What is the context? This article from the PIB notes researchers at the Indian Institute of Science having come up with an innovative interfacial engineering approach to enable fast charge rates in solid state lithium batteries. Now, let's understand what are solid state batteries. But before that, let's understand the conventional lithium ion batteries. These lithium ion batteries consist of a graphite anode and a transition metal cathode. These two are separated by a liquid electrolyte. As against a conventional lithium ion battery, in the case of solid state batteries, graphite anode is replaced by the metallic lithium anode, and the anode and cathode are separated by a solid ceramic electrolyte. One of the major advantages of solid state batteries is they are much safer compared to lithium ion batteries. Why? Because the electrolyte in lithium ion batteries consists of a liquid electrolyte. Since these electrolytes are flammable, there is always the risk of battery fires. Additionally, these liquid electrolytes can swell at higher temperatures, and this can lead to leakage as well. Whereas in solid state batteries, there is no risk of fire or explosion. Hence, solid state batteries are safer. Also note, the solid state batteries have higher energy density as compared to the lithium ion batteries. Hence, they can be smaller and lighter as compared to lithium ion batteries. And additionally, they will give a longer battery life as compared to lithium ion batteries for one charge cycle. This becomes all the more significant when it comes to the usage of batteries in electric vehicles. Also, the available research studies suggest that the solid state batteries may be able to recharge 4 to 6 times faster than the lithium ion batteries. Given these advantages, solid state batteries are receiving a lot of attention. But one of the major challenges when it comes to the usage of solid state batteries is the growth of lithium dendrites that short circuits the cells. The current study plans to use nanoscopic refractory metal layers like tungsten on the metallic lithium anode. This has been found to reduce the tendency of growth of lithium dendrites. Coming back to the question, from our discussion, it becomes clear that all the three statements are correct. That is, solid state batteries are safer, have higher energy density, and also can charge faster as compared to liquid electrolyte batteries. Hence, the correct answer to this question would be option D, 1, 2, and 3. Moving on to the fourth question, which reads, consider the following birds: Banasura chilapan, Ceylon frogmouth, Jordan's nightjar, and great hornbill. How many of the above birds are found in the state of Kerala? Please have a look at the options. What is the context? This article from the Hindu notes the state of Kerala planning to launch its own red list of birds. This red list will be done on the basis of IUCN guidelines for the preparation of red list. This will make Kerala the first state in India to have its own regional red list. Another notable initiative taken by Kerala is the preparation of the Kerala Bird Atlas. It was conducted as a citizen science driven exercise. This has enabled the accumulation of data about distribution and abundance of various bird species in the state. The article also mentions a few of the bird species found in the state. Coming back to the question. Note, the Banasura chilapan is found in the shola habitat of northern Kerala, while the Ceylon frogmouth is predominantly found in the Nayyar sanctuary and the Tattekad sanctuary. The name frogmouth is based on the large flattened hooked bill and the huge frog-like gape that this bird possesses. This allows the bird to take up insects. The Jordan's nightjar is native to southern India and Sri Lanka. It is a medium-sized nocturnal bird that usually nests on ground. Note, the great hornbill is the state bird of Kerala. So all of these four birds are found in the state of Kerala, and hence the answer would be option D, all the above four. Also note other birds mentioned in the article. It includes the red-headed vulture and white-rumped vulture, steppe eagle, and Nilgiri chilapan. Moving on to the last question of the day. The chairman of public sector banks are selected by the four options are as follows. A. The Banks Board Bureau. B. Reserve Bank of India. C. The Union Ministry of Finance. And D. Management of concerned bank. Note, the chairman of public sector banks are selected by Banks Board Bureau. The Banks Board Bureau was set up in the year 2016 based on the recommendations of the committee to review the governance of boards of bank in India. This committee was chaired by P.J. Nayak, and hence the committee is also sometimes referred to as the P.J. Nayak Committee. Note, apart from selecting the chairman of public sector banks, the Banks Board Bureau also engages with the Board of Directors of public sector banks to formulate strategies for their growth and development. It is also tasked with improving the corporate governance and building capacities at the public sector banks. Moving on to the fact of the day, new car assessment program. What is the context? This article from today's The Indian Express notes the rollout of the new car safety program, also referred to as the Bharat NCAP, from April 1st, 2023. The NCAP proposes a mechanism of awarding star ratings to automobile based upon their performance in crash tests. It would involve ranking the cars between 1 to 5 stars. These star ratings will give an indication of level of protection offered to occupants. Note, this assessment will be only for motor vehicles of category M1. What are category M1 motor vehicles? These are motor vehicles used for the carriage of passengers comprising 8 seats in addition to the driver seats, with the gross vehicle weight being less than 3.5 tons. Note, this assessment program will be applicable to both locally manufactured as well as imported cars. Also, the proposed standards would be in alignment with global benchmark. So what would be the advantages of having a new car assessment program? The first one being, this system or program will promote a healthy competition among the manufacturers to produce safer vehicles. This will go a long way in reducing the mortality due to road accidents. Note, India accounts for one of the largest number of accident-related deaths in the world. Also, these standards will increase the export worthiness of vehicles manufactured in India. This will enable India to have access to the larger global automobile market. This can provide an impetus to the economic growth and development in India. That is all for today. Thank you for being with us.